So we took a pretty decent amount of magic mushrooms. And I
find the Lord in any way.
I love to just bring this up because it has such a stigma behind it, but I firmly believe that God can use anything to get to anyone.
For sure.
Stayed up all night, that entire night, and just had like a very out-of-body experience. My ego died off completely, and I really just felt like I was having a conversation with the Holy Spirit that was just saying, it's time. Like, you've been running from this for so long. You've been trying to handle all of these burdens all by yourself, and you need to just let your ego die and realize it's okay to need a creator and to need a father that actually is there to take care of you. And that was just like a big light bulb went off, and I was like, wow. You know, we grew up in the church, and we had learned all of these ideas, but it's just an idea until you actually put it into practice. But that doesn't necessarily mean you should just go and try everything that there is. Obviously, the forbidden fruit didn't really work out too great in our favor.
Yeah, that must have been quite a trip. We're still on it. All right. Well, how's it going, guys? I didn't bring your slate.
Dang.
I meant to bring your slate. His hands are getting too calloused and worn from having to clap episode.
I like it.
That's pretty good.
I like it.
How's it going, guys?
Doing good. Yeah. We drove through a hurricane on the way here.
There was quite a storm from Ben's house or from
From Temple to here.
Temple to here?
Oh, yeah,
That's
it
where you
was
drove. There's a hurricane right now? Severe thunderstorm.
Severe thunderstorm.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
For sure.
That felt like it, that's for sure.
All right, so Ben's brothers.
Ben's brothers.
These are Ben's
number
brothers.
3 and number 4.
Yep.
We're missing number 2.
Biological.
number 2.
Yeah.
I don't know if this podcast would survive with all 4 of you were on here.
That'd be a
Probably
lot.
not.
That'd be a lot of
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah, Colson, when we were here, there'd be a lot of TikTok references.
TikTok.
A whole lot. TikTok.
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 It gets loud.
All right,
It gets loud when we're all together. That's for sure.
Yeah, but it's fun.
Yeah, so Micah, and then what was the name you went by?
Timothy.
No, what was the other one?
Oh, that was Tate.
Tate.
That was a different person.
Timothy Tate.
Yeah. Timothy. Timothy Tate Scheck-Snyder. Tater Bug. Tater Tot.
Tater
Nice.
tot. Tater
We should have
tot.
actually. Tater. In fact, Ben called me Tater today. He texted it. It's all right. It stung.
It's a different time.
And it's a hard one to get used to, going from that one syllable to multiple. So I've shortened it to Moth, Timothy. And I've gotten his daughters to now call him Moth too, which is great.
They do, actually. They do call me Moth. That's fun.
I like
Thank
it.
you.
What's going on there?
I like it.
He's sending
Bring,
smoke signals?
bring that mic up a little closer.
Oh.
Micah.
He's all right.
Yeah, get up in there. You're good.
Yeah.
Half the guests are like here. So. Oh, no. It's not...
Yeah, you're good.
we deal with it
Say it with
later.
your chest, dude. Come on.
Okay. I know how to project.
Yeah, we gave all of our kids multiple syllable names because it's hard to yell a kid's name when it's a single syllable.
Yeah.
Like Bob. Yeah, exactly. You have to.
Timothy.
There you
Yeah.
go.
It's got some.
Much more authority.
Yeah. It's got some grit to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Aaron, not some Aaron. Aaron just sounds like one.
so what was it like? Well, I don't know. What was it like growing up with Ben?
Yeah.
As an
Older brother, eldest. Ben's the eldest.
I was the youngest, so I don't know.
So growing up, there was definitely a dynamic where Ben and our second oldest brother, Colson, were kind of a duo and would hang out and spend a lot of time together. And then me and Timothy were kind of the other duo that spent a lot of time together. Not to say we all didn't hang out together and get along, but there was definitely a split between like, they were the older cool kids doing all the fun stuff, and we were just the little dweebs left behind to do our own fun stuff.
I'm third child, so I know the feeling.
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah.
You
But
get
what's
it.
interesting is adults, and you and Colson probably had this relationship, our other middle brother. You probably had this relationship the whole time, but now that we're adults, I feel like Ben and I have a much better relationship. Like as a kid, I don't feel like I really knew.
You know what it is? It's all in the eyes.
Explain yourself.
Oh, that actually makes sense.
Two of us have blue eyes. Two of us have brown eyes.
Oh, yeah. The Pooh-Eye boys stick together.
I think it's because we had
This sounds like
kids.
it's going down like an Aryan path or something.
Yes, we are the Scheck-Snyder.
Not
Not
only
originally
that-
Schneider.
But you guys also had kids closer in proximity
Yeah,
together.
I
And I
think
think
that's what it was.
fatherhood created a stronger bond between you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What's the gap?
Between Ben and I?
Between all of you.
Oh.
Me and Ben are 5 years apart.
So between me and
2 and 3 each.
me and Colson would be 2. Colson and Mike is 3, and then Micah and Timothy is 3.
I think it's 2.
2,
I'm 32. You're 29.
29.
3.
Math.
He just turned 32.
Math. I did just turn 32.
So
2.5.
The 3-year gap does a lot when you're little.
Yeah.
But I've found the same thing too, where like I'm pretty close with. Well, actually, my youngest. We were never close when we were together. The youngest one, and now we're.
But I think another thing that added to it is when our parents got divorced, Ben and Colson already had an established friend group in the town that my dad lived in.
Right.
And we had already kind of put down roots in the town that my mom was in. So we kind of stayed with mom, stayed in that school district, and then they went back and lived with dad. So that was also a big dynamic to keep us kind of like in our separate little worlds.
Yeah.
I think.
No, that's true.
Don't you think that kind of played into it?
That's accurate. Yeah. I mean, by the time they were out of high school, you were halfway through and I was just about to begin. So I don't know. It's just the way it flowed out. But
Yeah.
we're all pretty close now. We get together.
And I will say, out of a lot of other people that I've talked to, our relationship is extra special. I know a lot of people that like don't really like their siblings, don't really talk to them. They'll talk to them like Christmas and Thanksgiving. That's it.
Yeah.
We always did a good job of, whenever we lived in different places, getting on a video chat at least once a week, catching up, or playing Fortnite together, talking on our headsets and stuff like that. I don't see that in a ton of other families that I've actually run into. So I think we actually do have a closer bond than most.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that comes into play with living overseas as little kids, having that like life experience and just being in a different culture, also being like the only white people that spoke English at the time. So it's kind of like forced you to become best friends because nobody else speaks English. So that kind of played into it.
Yeah. I think we also had parents that were like, go outside and play. They made us be together. Like it was not, we were not coddled, I guess. Not that I coddle my children now, but I let them get away a lot more than what I would. Our parents were like, get out, go play, go explore.
Yeah. It's a different generation. Well, it's a different time, too.
Yeah.
Different
Latchkey kids
Right.
back then, and now you're like
Definitely
helicopter parents, snowplow parents,
Yeah.
parents who get arrested for their kid walking to the store. You know,
It's wild.
that happened in, what was it, Florida? Yeah, Florida. 10-year-old walked to the store unbeknownst to the mom, and then the cops arrested her for child endangerment. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, we were
I guess it
definitely,
depends. Maybe it's a rough
as
city.
long as you were back home by the
think-
time the lights went off.
Fine. It was like a mile, too.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's scary.
Yeah.
Well, not in Texas. I hear PETA can't even come around here in Texas. Did he know about this?
no, I don't think I've told Amos yet.
So I guess there's some barbecue restaurant here
And Lufkin.
in Lufkin, close to here, that PETA came and was like, no, don't eat the pigs. This is so wrong. You're slaughtering them. And it was like their best sales day of all time.
Oh, I believe
because they hit the news like,
There's that meme I see every now and then where like someone's going around putting stickers on pieces of meat at the supermarket saying like my name was Dolly and I was 3 years old or whatever, and I was butchered on this date, and everyone's like, oh, so we get to know when the cow was butchered. That's great. Yeah, you get to appreciate it.
So that
Like,
expiration
yeah.
date wasn't accurate.
Like it's not deterring at all.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's encouraging. Now you're personal with your meat.
Yeah.
This was Dolly. She tastes pretty good.
Yeah,
She must have went through some onion patches.
I cut up a cow the other day.
Yeah?
A friend at church called and said they had a 650-pound calf that broke its neck in the stall. Well, another calf, steer, jumped on it while its head was turned and just like snapped its neck.
Whoa.
So they called me up and
That's
like,
a lot of weight.
do you want it? And I'm like, sure.
Absolutely.
I've helped butcher a cow before.
Yeah.
That's no easy job.
Well, they had
Oh,
a tractor.
man.
They didn't have it up in the air when I got there.
Okay.
So it's like butchering a big deer, a really big deer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I helped Dad one time do a full-size cow. Similar story. Is at a stockyard or something. It broke its leg. And our dad was just notorious for being like the crazy Cajun on speed dial to be like, hey, Reggie, come get this animal that broke its leg. You could use the meat.
He has
That's a
story.
reality show right there. The crazy
done it.
Cajun on speed dial.
He's done it too. Like, this is not a unique story. This is
Like,
like,
he was like, I told him afterwards. He's like, well, why didn't you call me?
yeah.
I'd have been there to help you.
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't even know. I took my
Now these two were probably pretty young. They might remember, but one Thanksgiving, we got a call a couple days before Thanksgiving. Some emu had escaped and was terrorizing this lady's house. And was
emu.
Emu.
I'm on your side.
Emu.
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 The other bird that's not an ostrich.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Same size.
The other big ugly bird.
Right.
Was this the brick house?
Yes.
Yep. I kind of remember.
They
this.
were, this bird was tearing up this lady's car. I mean, just pecking the crap out of, just terrorizing them. So who do they call? They call the local guy.
the crazy Cajun.
And we load up in the truck, him and his 4 boys load up in this truck. He brings I can't remember what firearm it was, maybe a shotgun or pistol. I don't know what he was thinking with that, and a lasso. So we show up, he gets the lasso out, and first try misses. Second try gets him right around the neck.
Whoa.
Yanks it a little too hard because the idea was to return the emu back to the owner, and pulled a little too hard. And guess what we had for Thanksgiving that year?
Whoops, I went too hard. I also needed a turkey.
Where'd you get this giant turkey from?
Yeah.
Like, you want a leg?
Yeah.
But that was common in our childhood for Dad just to have weird, crazy scenarios like that. So we were not like sheltered from where your food comes from. I have same memories in that house of y'all butchering some chickens, and I was probably 5 or 6 and was in charge of going to get the carcasses after they had already chopped their heads off.
Oh, you poor.
A little traumatizing, but hey,
He would make his rule is if you shoot it, you have to eat it.
yep.
Micah shot a squirrel once with a little pellet gun. Killed it.
That's
like
cool.
a city squirrel. This was not like out in the woods, out somewhere in the boonies. Like this was in.
It was like in Dad's backyard.
Yeah, this is the deep city, and so he made Micah skin it and eat it. And
Wasn't bad.
some it wasn't horrible.
Wasn't terrible.
I'm not
All
gonna
about how you season it.
I'm not going to shoot a skunk at your house.
Yeah,
please do.
I mean, you can kill whatever you want at my house.
Your dad's house. I'm not,
Yeah.
I won't shoot a skunk at your dad's house.
He will make you eat it. I guarantee you.
Facts.
Yeah, we grew up the same way, like chickens, goats.
Yeah, we did a little bit of country living, a lot of redneck stuff happening in the house. We had a sweet go-kart that Dad found on some garage sale, and it was, as soon as you started it, there was no brakes, and it was just go. So as soon as you cranked that engine, that thing just took off, and you just pretty much ran it until it ran out of gas.
Survival of the fittest.
Yep.
That was the brick house.
Brick house. We got pulled through sticker patches on a
Ooh,
old
a
piece of
magic
carpet.
is
Dad
what-
would call
is
it
what my dad
magic
called it.
carpet rides.
Yeah.
You pull us behind the go-kart?
He would tie an old piece of carpet behind his truck and then pull us through like a sticker patch, and you just tried to hold on
Don't
for dear
fall.
life. And
Yeah.
try not to
In fact,
fall
I'm
off.
getting chills thinking about
Do
it.
not try this at home.
Yeah.
Disclaimer. Don't try this at home.
Don't do that at home.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Well, one winter, it snowed for whatever reason that year in Texas, and we got the canoe out, and we were out there doing a similar thing with the canoe. Needless to say, the canoe had a hole in it and quickly filled up with snow,
Oh, nice.
and it was so full that it was pitching people out left and right. And yeah, I think we only made a couple rounds in the
Is that
canoe.
whenever the pipes froze?
No, that was the year before.
But I will
Like,
say,
I would have been one.
out of all the shenanigans, like, we definitely grew up poor, or as Mom and Dad would like to say, broke.
Yeah.
But we were just
No,
perpetually
you're not
broke.
poor.
for
We
a
grew
while.
up frugal.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, frugal. Frugal's a good word. But it never felt like that because we always just did fun, weird stuff outside.
Yeah.
And Dad would just get super creative on like how to just entertain 4 boys. And
Yeah.
it was mostly outdoor activities. He built some cool tree houses out of scratch. Just little stuff like that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Bob for tomatoes in the blue barrel. I do have fond memories of that. That was cool. You get one of those huge 50-gallon
50-gallon drum.
filled
cut
with
the top
water,
off.
and tomatoes in it. You just go bob down. You swim like it's
I've heard of bobbing for
Redneck
apples,
fun.
but bobbing for tomatoes.
that's
Cherry,
good.
cherry tomatoes in the garden. Just make do with what you got. I'm sure
There was a fair amount of pee in that gallon.
there was probably a pretty good amount of pee in that barrel.
You guys keep getting those tomatoes.
Are you like fully in the barrel?
Oh, yeah.
Or you, no, okay, so you're
Swimsuit and all. Like this is. We were small enough that it was like a pool. Like,
it's not your
I
head
think
bobbing.
you were in
it's like
diapers.
toss the
there's
whole,
definitely pee in there.
There was
toss the
definitely
whole
pee
kid in
in
the
there.
tank.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah,
Like that scene from
times.
Caddyshack.
but that's probably where I fog out. I don't think I have many memories there.
Yeah.
If you, Asia.
Asia.
Yeah.
All of Asia.
Yeah, so when did you guys go to Asia? You want to talk about that?
Sure.
been
This was, I don't even know what year it was, but it was from the De Leon house that we were in. And I remember I was just before first grade. Our parents told us, hey, we're moving to Asia. We're going to go be missionaries. And the first thing, I don't really have this memory, but it's what mom tells me what happened, is that I ran and packed like a little like luggage to bring. She said the only thing that were in there was just a bunch of whitey tidies. It was like 5 pairs of underwear. And I was like, all right, I'm ready to move. Let's go. Let's do it.
It's your country wear.
Yeah, that's all you need.
For
I
me,
guess I was
mean,
just worried that they weren't going to have those over there. Got to make sure you have plenty of boxer briefs.
You would have been 6?
Probably 6 or 7.
Yeah, 6. I would have been 4. So it was just like, whatever, we're going. Here we go. Ben and Colson were probably more affected than any of us, but
Yeah, I think me and you were young enough that it was just like an exciting adventure. And it's like, oh my gosh, we're doing something crazy and wild. We're going to go live in a completely different country. But for them, y'all had already had friends established. And it was like a lot harder to like leave your home that you had already like put down roots in. So y'all had a very different experience. How old were you when we first moved?
Well, if you were 6, add 5.
11.
10 or 11, yeah.
10 or 11.
he made you do that. Nah, he could have done it.
Yeah, no, he
Your
could have
computer
done
right there.
it. He could have done it.
But what's interesting is like that's also the age group, because I've always wanted to be a missionary bush pilot. I think that'd be so cool. So I've looked into all like the background of what it looks like. That's like the age group where they say, no, you should not be going into mission work right now, or you should really consider like, is this what the Lord is calling you
Like
to
the
do?
developmental age.
Yeah, because it's like that's when you got all your first connections and like. So I'm sure that was real tough on them.
But I will say that's probably one of the biggest blessings of experiencing that as a young age is we had such an epic outlook on life to just witness other cultures at such a young age. And then even coming back to the States, it was almost like a reverse culture shock of like, oh my gosh, America doesn't even really feel like home. And of course, we moved back whenever I was like a middle schooler, and middle school kids in America are just the worst human beings on the planet. So I just remember like, oh my gosh, are all Americans just super mean and just hurtful and like terrible people?
Yeah.
So
Where were y'all when you moved back?
we were in Dublin,
Started out in Stephenville, Dublin area.
Stephenville, Dublin, Texas. We moved back kind of that same area. And then our grandparents lived just north of there, and that's kind of where mom settled. So that's kind of where me and him ended up doing middle school and high school and kind of fishing out.
But kind of a city.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say more like a city life.
Not rural country, though.
The
people
where
around
we
here
first
are
moved
very
back.
nice.
Yeah, that's probably a good mid-sized city.
Yeah, probably so.
Even when we moved to Granbury, I'd say that was a mid-sized city. It's bigger now.
But I'd say the dichotomy of like where we finished out high school and where our older brothers finished out, like they were more country, like ag was the cool thing to do and like go show pigs and chickens and stuff. We were more normal high school experience with football, soccer, tennis.
Go sports.
I was a choir nerd. I sang in choir all
Choir
through high
nerd.
school. State champion, actually.
Got some good pipes?
No big deal. Started off singing tenor until I hit puberty when I was about 16 and then dropped down to a baritone. But yeah, I had a really good experience with that. Met a lot of awesome people. Had some really good mentors throughout that process.
Never stopped singing.
Never stopped.
I usually go to his house now. If it's quiet, he's singing, or there's music on.
That's most of the tinnitus that I deal with. I can't deal with silence. I don't like the ringing in the ears.
That's fair. I've been enjoying the silence. My wife and kids are up in Washington visiting family. They've been there for a week. They're going to be there for another 2. So it's just been so quiet. The first 3 days were like fun, exciting. Now it's like, what do I do with my life? I had no purpose. I don't know what to do anymore.
How many kids you have?
3.
3. Nice.
Yeah.
Age ranges?
The oldest is 8. Sorry if I keep moving. I have a
You're fine.
messed up disc. The oldest is 8. The middle is 4, and the youngest just turned 2. I guess 2.5. Yeah. Wow, it's going by fast.
It is going to move fast.
Yeah, we have an 11, a 10, a 7, a 6, and a 10-month-old.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a big spread.
Yeah, well, that last one, there's a bit of a gap.
Yeah.
He's definitely like the baby who gets babied by the girls. And like,
What's your favorite season or age of what you know so far?
definitely like 2 to 3, kind of before the terrible 2s. It's really the terrible 3s. The terrible 2s aren't a thing.
Training 2s, training 3s.
Training 3s.
Yeah. My wife always tells me we can't get into this because then we're just going to start going into it and be like, this is terrible. This is horrible.
I like it when they're walking and they're like turning into adults, toddlers.
Yeah.
Not adults. They're turning into kids.
Yeah.
From the baby stage. Although like our youngest right now, he's like the cute little Gerber babies. All of them were like Gerber babies. Like,
Yeah.
they're just like they could be plastered on billboards. that kind of cute.
Humble brag.
I mean, yeah, I'm not biased or anything, but that's what people tell me. Maybe they're just being nice. But he always looks at you and smiles. Like he's big.
Yeah,
smiles.
that's fun. That's
He's
how
been
my
that
son
way for a
is.
while. I'm looking forward to adult conversations though, when you can have I'm looking forward to later teenagers,
Yeah.
where like you can speak to them as adults, talk to them as adults, hopefully not have to tell them to clean up their room.
Sometimes I think it's a fantasy though, because I'm also excited for that age. Like my oldest, I enjoy the age she's in because we can reason, we could talk about some deeper aspects. But because she's 8, like kind of the attention goes away, and it's like, okay, I'm done, Dad. So I think like whenever we get into those teenage years, that's going to be fun.
I don't
But
know.
from
I
everyone
also-
I know who's has teenagers,
I was
like
about
then
to
the
say,
hormones
think
come
back
into
to
play.
when we were teenagers, and
Well, that's the
sounds
thing
like
is
a
hopefully
nightmare.
like it's unless you're dealing with the moody, sullen, like teenager, which our oldest, he has those moments where he's definitely kind of, are you sure you're not 13, 14
Yeah.
yet? You know, because you're acting like it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I just get to be the fun uncle. It's my favorite job because I get to enjoy the benefits of hanging out with the little kids. But then the second they start acting up, I can just give them right back and be like, "Here's your mom.
Yeah. Where are your
There you
kids?
go."
Where are your kids?
I am baby free since '93. That's
They're
my
dogs.
life
They're a
motto.
big dog family.
We're really big into dogs. So we went from having 2 Great Danes and a Lab Pyrenees, who unfortunately passed away a couple years ago, and now we just got a new puppy. We're thinking about maybe getting another puppy here soon. Yeah,
Kids are good though.
kids are great, and I love hanging out with my nephews and my nieces. But it was never something that was really in the back of my mind.
I recommend. I think it's nice.
I highly
I
recommend.
highly recommend. It's hard. It's arduous. Has its painful moments, but
Right.
you know.
Well, my wife is adopted, so we've often talked if we do ever have a change of heart, that would be something that would be really important to us, is to adopt later down the road. Her and her sister were both adopted, and they just had a great experience with her parents and just gave them a completely different opportunity. So
Yeah.
that would be something that if I ever did have the inkling of wanting to have children, we would probably go that route.
I'm definitely not helping though. He comes over and it's like, okay, I think we're still good.
Yeah, we're still good. We're still
Yeah, I know.
good.
Yeah, I
But
think
it's different when they're not your own. It is.
Yeah,
Like,
between our family, my 2 older don't have any kids, and then I have 5, and then my sister had just had her 3rd, my younger sister. So we're making up for.
yeah.
That's what my older
Mathematics
sister,
is
who's a doctor, she's like, "You're making up for me. You're filling in my population gap there."
There you go. I mean, that's kind of how I felt. There was not all that pressure from our mom was relieved whenever Ben and Timothy both had kids.
Your mom was pressuring.
Cool.
Like,
She wasn't pressuring, but she was always just, I just want more grandkids. I just need more of them.
yeah, and then after them too, like I've got enough grandkids.
Yeah.
I'm
And
good.
our older brother Colson just had a little baby girl as well. So it's like, there you go, Mom. You got plenty. You're good. You can have some granddogs.
Well, we had
We all girls.
we had girls for the longest time, and it was a complete culture shift in our family dynamic because my mom grew up with all boys, you know.
We were all boys.
Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. And then
Imagine.
it was kind of tough though because who's going to pass on that family name, you know? But we got one.
You're
Which
welcome.
is wild
welcome
because
to
our
Sex
dad
Animal.
comes from a huge family. He is number 10 of 11.
Wow.
And there was no male
all girls.
Scheck Snyder in the entire family line.
Where was he in the lineup?
He was number 10.
You said you said 10
Yeah.
of 11. So he's like second to last.
Second to last, and then he had 2 brothers, 7 sisters. So there was already a ton of girls in the family. But even between all the brothers, none of them had a male heir.
Wow.
So Elijah saved the day.
To be an heir, you have to inherit something.
Had to pay for a lot of weddings.
Yeah.
All those girls.
I think they're cheap weddings. They're probably quick.
Yeah,
probably like my kind
they're
of wedding.
backyard Cajun weddings. They don't require
You can
a
have
lot
a
of-
good backyard wedding, and it's still nice.
That's true.
Yeah.
We had a front yard wedding, so
There you go.
Invite the neighbors.
If it's good for
yeah, the neighbors were
We're in block
invited.
party.
There were 180 people there, but
Dang.
in
In a front
in
yard.
my in-law,
impressive.
my in-laws' front yard.
That's a big front yard.
yeah.
Dang.
That's cool.
I've been to quite a few weddings, and his was in the back of his in-laws' house, and it was just quaint. It was pretty. It was a great time, and I'd rank it top 3.
Ooh, what's
Top
what's
3.
2 and 1?
Carter's wedding would be number 1,
Okay.
and
Oh, I'm thinking of Tucker's. I thought that was about to happen.
No, Tucker's hasn't happened yet.
Is Jimmy's up there? Is mine better than Jimmy's?
Yeah,
It's our
I think
stepbrother.
yours was better than Jimmy's.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. That's all I
You don't have to
got.
worry.
We can move on.
You don't have to worry. His was good, but yours was more fun.
Yeah.
For sure. But that just goes to show you don't have to have a big flashy ceremony or spend a ton of money to have a good time.
No, you don't.
Not at all.
No. Not as long as you have enough food and alcohol, maybe,
Yeah.
presumably.
Yeah. There was a lot of that.
There
There's
was.
good food too.
There was good food. It was a good time.
But rounding that back to, sorry, we kind of got off track. Rounding that back to
happens
the
around
earlier discussion. Yeah, when we came back to the States, that's whenever I think we were, because we would have been in close to that same young adolescent, like those formative years. That was a big culture shock because the cultures in Asia and America are just vastly different. I mean, you're talking about communities depending on each other, like feeling like you can communicate openly and feel good and safe about that, coming to a culture that's like, I'm going to protect me and my own, and I don't trust you. And I
It's
think
the
Which culture are you talking about as which?
Asian
second is
is
America.
more of
Asian's
like
the
the
first.
They call it like the feminine culture, where it's more community based and you're looking out for the betterment of the group. Versus America is very individualistic.
Yep.
It's all about I need to make it. I have to have this certain status quo. I'm only going to be worried about me and mine. Where it was very opposite in Asia. It was
as a-
more of like look out for the group.
But as a kid, there was no talk about that. There was no like, hey, here's what to expect. We just moved. And so it was just like, whoa, I was not expecting that. And that led to a lot of trouble. We'll just put it that way. We had some tough teenage years. Him and me specifically. Him and I.
In the States.
Yes,
In the States. That's when we got back. And part of the reasoning was our parents split. So we stay with mom, older brother stay with dad. And dad only got to see us on, every other weekend. So he just made it very firm of like, hey, I'm not going to be disciplining you for anything that's happening because I want to enjoy the time that I have with you on these short weekends. So we really didn't have a male figure during high school to really
Disciplinary.
to discipline or just kind of like keep us in check. So we were pretty wild,
Nobody went to prison?
to say the least. Yeah.
Almost. I went to juvie.
I went to jail in high school.
I think mine was one of those like scare you straight things though, because the story is, so Mike and I used to go into people's garages that were slightly open for like cats and dogs to get in and out, which is a convenient way to go in there and see all these nice people's stuff that they have. And so we would take it. Again, this was a different time.
Not recommended.
Not recommended. Did not turn out great.
We called it fridge hopping.
We had these little, fridge hopping. But we found some scooters once. They were nice, gas powered, like they went. And Micah, because he's an entrepreneur at heart, said, let's sell these online, like 3 days after we acquired them. And they found out immediately, within 5 minutes of him posting it. I think it was on Craigslist.
It was on Craigslist.
The police got involved very quickly. But when they brought me into like the juvie thing, I sat down with, I assume would have been like some kind of officer. And then like a lawyer came in and read me my rights. And they were like, here's your orange jumpsuit. We're going to take you back and put you in a room. Like, made it very overt. And then they walked out. And 15 minutes later, while I'm sitting there, they walk back in. You better be lucky. They let you go. No problem. So we're good to go. My mom has never confirmed this. I don't even know if I've ever asked, but I'm pretty sure it was one of those like scare you straight. So if that counts,
How old were you?
You probably were like 14, 15.
couldn't drive.
Okay, so you're well in the minor. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you're
Yeah.
not like 17. Like, we're in
No.
charge as an adult.
No, I started young. I hit a wall.
No, but I was at that 16, 17, which I would have gotten into some serious trouble. The best part of this whole story is after the fact, we found out the people that we acquired these scooters from were like distant friends from people in our church.
Yeah.
So after like the whole legal ramifications were ended, they insisted that we like go and talk to like a counselor. We had to meet with the parents and like explain how sorry we were. I think we
got
went
weird.
and did like
Got weird.
some community service for them.
No,
Is that not
so
so-
this
is that
was
the case?
they were trying to reason like how do we solve this problem, and so their idea was to bring up the Old Testament about like if you hurt or kill somebody's cow or steal it, like you have to pay him back
Restitution.
10%,
it
10-fold,
sevenfold?
17-fold.
It varies. It
was a large amount.
Theft the property is, I think, is 2 to 4.
Okay, I think that's what it would have been then.
2 if you confess openly. 4 if you get caught.
Would have been 4.
Something like that.
Yeah. But the way they were wording it, And this was the first time where I had that first little inkling of respect for our stepdad, because he really
just gonna say that.
he
Yeah.
stuck up for us and was like, absolutely not. This is Old Testament law. This has nothing to do with these little gas-powered scooters that they got.
Yeah.
And that was the first time, because before that, we were very much so like, you're my stepdad. I don't have to listen to you. I don't even respect you. But that was I remember vividly, that was the first time that I was like, all right, Jim has our back. Like, he actually likes us.
To his point, he mentioned earlier we didn't really have a father figure. We did have a stepdad, and he is great. He was great,
Still is.
but still is. Yeah, he's still here. He's good. He's had a lot of surgeries, but he's still with us for now. Just kidding, Jim. But we were so hard on him. Like, we hated him from the get-go. I remember the first night we met. So, like, we never saw him as a male figure in our life. He was the antagonist, him and all of his kids. The blending of our families. Oof. That was a mess. Going from all-boy family and an all-girl family, and then, well, there was Jimmy. He wasn't a man yet. He was a girl. He was still eating sugar on his green beans and buttered noodles. He wasn't. We toughened him up.
Sugar on your green beans.
Yeah, he was a special character.
I mean, I'll say my kids will put ketchup on everything. Well, they're getting out of that habit, but yeah.
Not the same, though. It's just not the same.
I mean, I blame it on the fact that he only had older sister role models, so he never really had the childhood that we had, growing up with 3 other brothers and being rough.
Go outside and eat dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
we toughened him up.
Oh,
so
we toughened
quick.
him up good. Real good.
He turned out all right.
But yeah, that blending of the family was very interesting. That was a trying time in our life.
There was once we lived in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath rental. And he had, my stepdad, he had built like a fake wall in one of the foyerways and built out another room, took the office or the dining area, turned that into a room, and then the office area turned into a room.
We lived there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So there would have been
That was a lot of people under one roof.
10 people in our
Probably in
lot.
a
Full, like
1,500
most
square foot house.
teenager above. I would have been Jimmy would have been the youngest.
We always got in trouble for too many cars out in the cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Had a lot of phone calls on that one.
Hit that mailbox a lot. Ran that over a few times.
Yeah. Learn how to share bathrooms with girls.
They
had their own.
Did they have their own?
They had their own bathroom.
It was kind of like
Yeah.
we were all. They must have used Mom and Jim's.
Maybe.
They must have, but I don't recall seeing their stuff in our bathrooms.
No. They had us kind of separated.
Yeah, that separation law was like the animals go this way and everyone else will live on this side.
And the girls could live over here.
yeah,
Where'd Jimmy fall?
Jimmy was on our side of the wing of the house. Mm-hmm. Yep. And what was that one story you were bringing up when he just wouldn't tap out? So Jimmy had a lot to prove.
he did.
Moving into a blended family with all boys, like he just had this little chip on his shoulder that he had to like prove himself, and like,
Yeah, and he did.
and he did.
There's a few times we just pushed him to the edge. One of which, we would wrestle in the living room, as why not? Why wouldn't you?
As all young boys do.
And so we were wrestling with him. We had him in an arm bar, and we were like, "I'm gonna break your arm. I will break it right now." Tears down his face. I'll never tap. I'll never do it. And he didn't. Mom and Jim came in, and they were not happy. But needless to say,
baby boy.
he got that on a regular basis, boxing. So he's a man now.
Yeah.
He is. He's married. It all worked out.
Worked out.
He's in the right place. But
I just talked to him on Monday, so he still loves us.
oh, I love him to death. He's like a blood brother now. It's interesting. We hated him with a passion. I mean, there was
Let me make it very clear. You two did. Because by the time me and Colson were completely out of the picture,
I'll even disassociate myself from Micah. Micah was the seed just planter. Like, these guys, you know what? I don't think Jimmy should be in the back over here. Like, you should teach him a lesson. Micah was very antagonistic. Fight the man, rage against the machine kind of guy.
So you're the one selling Joseph into Egypt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've also been known as the Joseph of many colors because I was deemed one of probably the favorite in Dad's opinion, which was a hard thing to live with.
Yeah, he was.
How did you come to that conclusion that you were the favorite?
I think he was told enough in his life that he finally went, oh.
All of my brothers made it apparent. The way that my dad would treat me compared to them was very apparent. I don't know why it was that I was deemed the
I know why.
favorite job. What?
Mom's told me many times. I've
That's
asked-
it. What did mom have to say?
So Micah just likes men, okay? Since he came out of my mother's womb, he has just been around men.
Can you clarify that? He likes men?
Yeah, that's as far as I'll go. He doesn't have kids. That's weird.
I'm happily married to a woman, by the way.
But he just always, as a little kid, as a little baby, he just always ran to the men, whether it was my
The
dad.
masculine men.
Yeah,
So
they're
he
in that.
came out yoked with a beard on.
Yeah, like Esau. Like he was. I mean, look at him. This is him cleaned up and shaven because he's a civil man. But look at this, dude. He is clearly full of testosterone. But I think that just naturally built. And then you're a good singer. Dad always was. So I think there was layers to it.
Me and my dad share a lot of like similar personality traits.
Yeah.
I'm very extroverted. I love to just kind of be the center of attention. Always have, always will.
Always moving.
Always moving.
The shared personality traits tends to make you butt heads and fight.
You would think that way.
He had 3 other kids to do that with.
Yeah, that's true.
Gentle.
Gentle.
Older ones as well.
We got software. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I don't know how that ever really established, but it was made known, or I kind of like realized that at a young age, and that was kind of a hard burden to like live with, to be like, oh no, are my brothers going to secretly hate me because dad likes me more?
Well, and it wasn't just dad. I think the timing of which we came back to the States and they separated, they were old enough, Ben and Colson, that they were independent. They were going about their own lives, and they were kind of like, take care of yourselves.
Getting married and having kids of our own.
That early on, though? I mean, even whenever we first moved back.
Timothy, me and Stephanie would bring y'all to school,
I do remember that.
to the dentist's office. We were.
Most of those memories are not even.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying.
Blocked hard out.
So when you say we were literally living completely different lives.
Yeah. So I think Micah was, because he was the older of kind of the dependents, he was the middleman. Anytime there was communication or anything to do with legal papers, whatever, Micah was,
I was the
bring this
messenger
to
boy.
parent A, and then parent A would say, bring this to parent B. So I think naturally you just became
The arbiter.
yeah, that's a good word for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to put that kind of pressure on a young youth was not great. Looking back at that, I was like, oh, that was rough to always just be the bearer of bad news. Hey, mom, here's a letter from dad that I don't know what's in it, but I know you're going to be angry after you read it.
Or
So
less.
did
Or
you
vice
learn-
versa.
Did you learn like de-escalation skills and
I have always been a people pleaser. I think that played a lot into it.
I think it built that, really.
I think it definitely established that.
Yeah.
And I still am that way to an extent. I've gotten better over the years of setting some boundaries and being able to say no when I need to. But for the most part, I am 100% full-blown people pleaser.
Oh, yeah.
hard to say no?
Hard to say no.
Is it hard to ask people for help?
1,000%. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I will figure this out on my own, and I will not let my ego go down for this.
This crushes me.
You'll have
Do it alone.
Yeah.
Which is a good and a bad. I think that that's a good starting point for any entrepreneur to really have that grit and hard work ethic to kind of like push through.
Yeah.
But as I've started this business throughout the years, I've learned it's just so much easier to ask for help, and that there's no shame in that, and that every entrepreneur has help along the way.
I think it's extremely helpful if you put it in its box. And also, like, if you, like you said, with the Asian cultures where they have that mentality of working in community, if you have that in conjunction with the community aspect, you can go really far.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're in this atomistic culture like America, where you don't know your neighbors and nobody's really around to help you and you won't ask for help, then you end up just isolating and
Yeah.
wallowing unless you find a way to dig out of that.
And burning out like easily, because it's a great motivator tool. Like it's a great first light the fuse, there goes the rocket. But you span that out over a few years. I mean, and you've done a lot of self reflecting in that. Like,
Well, you know the difference between motivation and discipline, because they're two very different things.
yeah,
Like motivation, you don't need any discipline because you just want to do it.
Right.
You'll go, whereas discipline, Mike Tyson says, it's doing what you hate as if you love it.
yeah.
Says when you keep persevering and going forward,
When the motivation's gone.
even when the motivation is gone.
Yeah,
And I definitely know that I struggle with that a little bit. Where like if I get motivated, like I will, and I'm a people pleaser too. So if you ask me to come help you do something, I will come and break my back for you. But it's really hard for me to say, hey, can you come help me lift this feather over here?
Right.
That like it's a little awkward, so it might break, but like it'll be really easy. It's still even hard for me to just ask that.
it's a
Exactly.
heavy burden. Like it's because there's, especially when you grow up and you're an adult, like these are big tasks you're taking on in life. If you're starting a new project or a new venture, like you need people around you to keep it going. So, but you've gotten good at that. You have. I mean,
Yeah,
I thought it was just a learning lesson. I think that.
And it's not fun working alone. Like, it's not fun working with incompetent people either.
Right.
True.
So
which is
that-
worse.
Yeah, so that's one area where like you do kind of learn to work alone if you're surrounded by people who
Are stupid. That's okay. You can
could
say
have
it.
a few extra marbles.
Say it. You could say it.
That's real.
But yeah, if you can find people who are competent and are fun to be around, fun to work with, yeah, there's who wants to be alone?
Yeah.
And I've been extremely blessed to have some awesome mentors that have gone down these same roads, or just the food truck community is a really tight knit group, and we all share information. No one gatekeeps, as you would think. So it's been a really good experience just to kind of build a community within all these different businesses.
Yeah,
Which has been awesome.
food truck,
Food truck.
I,
Cajun
I like a good food truck.
Heck yeah. I thought of the idea probably my second year in the Navy. I didn't know what type of food, but I always...
Wait a minute, the Navy?
The Navy.
You did say you like men.
Let's take a step back. This is actually a good
Go through the whole
segue.
thing.
You said you like men, so
Another fact, right?
There it is. So we
had a
go
lot of weird
from
jobs.
our very rebellious, chaotic high school experience.
And this is, so we'll even pause and kind of camp out here for a little bit. Like this is not like small, oh, we got in trouble with the police here and there. Like this was big, affected whole high schools kind of events. Like it was,
We had a reputation for sure.
yeah. Like I don't really even tell people that are like, oh, I'm from Granbury. Like, okay, I'm Timothy.
Cool, I
I'm
know
not
who
Tate,
you are.
I'm Timothy.
I don't know who Tate is. Never heard of that guy.
Yeah, we stick to that.
so you guys had a reputation.
Yeah.
I think our identity was almost built on kind of that, I won't say trauma. I'll say bad reputation. I think for,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's make a TV show
Yeah.
about this.
Well, we've gotten through
What
it now.
not to do.
Yeah. Scary straight.
But I remember it was senior year. We had gone through this string of both of us getting in trouble. Usually I was the instigator leading him along of like, hey man, just come on, tag along. We'll just do some sketchy stuff. It was the end of senior year. I didn't really have a game plan of what I was doing next. I had a choir scholarship to go to UT for my first year, would have been paid for. Went up to mom and dad and said, hey, I got the scholarship for the first year. Y'all think you can help out with the other 3 years? And they said, absolutely not. It was at lunch in the cafeteria. There was a Navy recruiter that was just kind of like handing out pamphlets, talking to people.
Got you, dude.
And he was like, hey, man, guess what? If you join the Navy, we'll pay for all 4 years of your college. It's going to be fantastic.
Go see the world.
Never once did I have an inkling of wanting to join the military out of my patriotic duty, or it wasn't just like a little dream of mine. My instinct was just, oh, you're going to pay for college? Yeah, I'll go do 4 years in the Navy. Why not? So I joined the Navy pretty much right out of high school. I had a little bit of a gap year because dealing with some trouble issues. I think I was on probation or something at the time.
Yeah. Okay, so
Couldn't
he had talked to the recruiter, been signed up for the Navy with a nuclear engineer job, right? Like it was
Oh,
a
yeah.
really good job. And then he got caught at a party and ran from the cops. And they figured out who he was because he didn't have the most loyal friend group.
Didn't have the most loyal friends. They also had a nice... it wasn't just the snitches, because when they brought me in and they were trying to charge me with evading arrest, whoever the lawyer was, it was like Jared's mom's friend or something, was like, just don't say anything and just deny it. There's no way they can do anything. And so they pulled up a literal dash cam footage on a patrol car of me clearly running past the car and looking kind of like straight into the frame.
You could have still gotten around that.
And they were
so
like,
no.
you're telling us this is you? I was like, okay, man.
and you're wondering how I got here.
And that's me.
Yeah.
So
You're a mechanic. Yeah.
that happened when I had my first rate job in the Navy. I had to drop that job. I was on probation for like 6 months because of that. And then I went back into MEPS to go like reapply. And they were like, hey, that job's not available anymore. But we do have an aviation mechanic gig that you could sign up for. And at the time, I was just ready to get out of my hometown. I was like, you know what? Any job that I can leave in the next 2 months, I'll take. Yeah, this one will leave out and you'll be gone in 4 weeks. I was like, sign me up. Joined, went through boot camp. It was not nearly as epic as all the TV shows make it out to be. I was like, wow, this was actually pretty easy. Nothing like crazy physical.
It's the Navy.
Yeah, it was the Navy.
No offense. I'm kidding.
I mean, I was Air Force, so that's
drinkers
even
with a
worse.
sailing problem.
I came out of boot camp fat and tanner. Like it was,
Yeah, I came out skinny and pale.
and hairy.
And Harry.
And Harry. There was no tremors there. Wow.
Well, but no, joined the military, had a great experience. I mean, it was obviously like a very toxic workplace, but as far as the camaraderie with the people that you were like serving with, it was just like a brotherhood. You know, everybody, you can kind of just relate to any veteran. If I meet a random veteran on the street, like you instantly have something in common of like, oh, you've been through the suck. You get it. You get it.
No, you're in the group.
And our parents never really encouraged the military. I know mom was a little hesitant at first because she was just worried. She was like, oh my gosh, you're going to get sent off to war, blah, blah, blah. And I had to just keep telling her, like, it's the Navy, Mom. I'll probably just be on a boat somewhere while everyone else is doing the hard stuff.
Yeah.
No big deal. One of the few sailors to join the Navy and never be assigned to a ship. I was stationed at Tinker Air Force Base in Oklahoma City for all 4 years of my enlistment. So saw a lot of ocean out there. But because of my positive experience of at least learning some leadership, learning some discipline, getting out of our situation that we were in, Timothy kind of followed suit. He joined the Air Force, which, good on him. I recommended that he did the Air Force versus Army or Marines or anything else. And then our younger brother, stepbrother Jimmy, kind of followed suit and also did the Air Force. But that was a very pivotal time in my life to really do some growing up, do some soul searching, and really like figure out, okay, you were clearly on the wrong path before. That was just going to go to either prison or possibly death, and just to learn some like really good life skills that kind of carried on to even where I'm at now.
And I would also add, though, you were stuck in a landlocked state as a Navyman, and you met somebody.
Yeah,
where you would not have had, should you have taken another position or anything, you know, that would definitely not have happened.
right. I always see a lot more these days than before about God's timing and like his place for where he wants you to be at certain seasons of your life. And because I was in Oklahoma City, that's where I met my wife. I probably would have never met her if I was just deployed on a ship somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I had something else I was going with this. I forgot.
God's timing.
God's timing.
Seasons.
I lost it.
But yeah.
Happens.
I lost it.
It happens around here.
But yeah, it was, I mean, I always think back to that pivotal moment. Cause I feel like probably for the first year or two, you were not the happiest because of being landlocked and being there. But then I definitely noticed a change once you and Leslie kind of started dating, and
Right.
and yeah, it came out positive.
Yeah.
It was huge.
It's amazing what marriage will do.
Yeah. It is. It definitely is.
How old were you when you got married?
We just celebrated our 4th.
24.
Math.
3?
28. Yep.
She was. No, you were.
No,
We're saying when I got married.
You were
He's
28?
32 now, and it's been 4 years. That's
So
pull up the
When did you
calculator.
meet her
man.
then?
We met in 2016. So we dated for a long while.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I had that part bled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we were married in 2020. But no,
You
yeah.
must have got married young.
He got
Super
married.
young. Super young.
Yeah.
It was, the first 5 years were very rough. 90%, 95, 99%, all me.
19.
But I was 19. Yeah. I was 19. She was 21. Great song, by the way, about love. And it worked out.
Yeah.
But we knew each other for 6 months before we got married. We knew each other for 3 months before I asked her to marry. And this was all during my training in the Air Force, which was, I was gone like 2 weeks at a time out in the woods it was a survival instructor job. So we'd go out in the woods and like learn how to survive in whatever environment. We'd go to temperate environment, Arctic, rainforest kind of area, any environment you can think of. So I was constantly gone. We maybe I'd spend 3 or 4 days with her tops and then go out again. Like that's how our time of knowing each other was from the moment I met her till we got married. So when our first year of living together was rough. We found out a lot.
And that was a wild phone call to get just as his brother, to be like, hey man, I'm graduating SEER school and I'm also getting married the same weekend because it's just going to work out that way.
All the
We
family
had
was going to be up there.
never met his fiance, didn't know anything about her. And I was like, are you sure, buddy? Like, you've only been dating for 6 months. I feel like you're rushing it just a little bit. But after all is said and done,
I don't know anybody that has as good of a marriage as me and my wife. I mean, I'm sure I'm biased for sure, but
I don't know. I'll fight you for it.
yeah, we have such a good relationship now. But it didn't start out that way. Not at all. It was really rough. But I wasn't. So all up into that 5 years into marriage, I wasn't like walking with the Lord in any way, shape, or form. Like I didn't really know Jesus. Obviously, we were missionary kids, so we knew
of Jesus.
We knew.
What's the difference between a missionary's kid and a pastor's kid? Is there much difference there?
They're both pretty buck wild.
So I'm a pastor's kid.
Hours.
Did you have a little wild streak?
I did not.
Oh,
I'm the pastor's kid who never rebelled.
But that's just the missionary kid.
That's the
But people keep telling me, and
Yeah.
I'm like, but it might have been more fun if I had.
But we were, I don't know. I think I had a different experience being the youngest, because whenever you're the youngest, like, you're there, but like, I can't speak for Ben, but I can speak for my oldest. And like, we spend a lot of time talking and explaining and teaching and doing a lot of wrong things because we're new parents, but like, we want to get everything right that's worth getting right. I think maybe this is just my perspective as being the youngest, but like, we knew all the Bible stories. We didn't know like the intimate, real relationship.
Understand
like,
them.
how do you pray? How do you
Yeah.
how do you get close to God? How do you like I have some hard questions as a kid. I was very probably amount of all the drugs I did as a teenager, but I was very open-minded and wanted to explore a lot of different topics that my parents just didn't have as believers. I think some people in scripture, whenever it's like, you know, how much more blessed is the one that doesn't doubt. I think when Christ is saying that, he's talking, yes, of course, like you should be able to see in faith and trust that. But I think there's also like, that doesn't mean that the doubter doesn't eventually have a relationship and see. It's just, you got a longer road. Like it's a lot. So I think all that to say, I think my parents had a very good, like, we believe because we believe, and that's what we believe. But I didn't have that. Like I wanted to know, what are these whys and hows? Like very deep philosophical questions. So whenever I learned that and it wasn't just my parents, it was everyone in my life that was older and believed. I just kind of was like, you're done. You clearly have not thought about life deep enough, so I'm going to go do my own thing. And of course, the deeper level in my heart was more like, I want to do what I want to do. I don't want there to be a God.
It's said by a good youth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
I know everything.
Yeah, I want my rules about substances in my body and sex and politics and all that to be mine, and I'm in control. So by the time we got married, I had some issues. Like I struggled in a lot of areas, a lot of anger, a lot of alcohol, infidelity. Like it was not good. Fast forward that 5 years, then I met Christ, and that was obviously a game changer, a life changer. And that's what I think really, we've been married for 10 years, but like that's when I really think our life together started. But she stuck through it all, man. Like, whoa.
Was she a believer for that whole time period, or?
She was, and she was a pretty deep believer as well. Like she was a YWAMer, so she had a really good experience going over to YWAM and like very spiritually and like knew the Lord. But she was young, and I was the husband. She was the wife, and so naturally, I'm leading, especially in a spiritual sense. I'm leading our life. So I always told her I believed. I always told everyone that in my family that like, yeah, I believe in God, all this stuff. But we never went to church. We never prayed. We never talked about God at all. So I think just she maybe skewed away, but she didn't struggle with things the way that I did. She already had a good moral foundation and experience as to why that moral foundation is important. I did not. I was pretty much like, your moral foundation is just a lie you've learned, and that's okay. So I'm going to keep all my stuff secret, and we'll just not talk about it.
Good recipe for a marriage.
Yeah, it worked. It worked now in the end. God intervened, but couple that with having a kid, like, and I was in the military. I mean, it was just,
Yeah, those are a lot of disastrous.
life just moved on. We didn't really get deep, but it hit a point where it was so dark that there needed to be an intervention, if that makes sense. It led, because you can't, we joke about our hard teenage years and whatever, but it really was on a road to death. And physically, it led to me trying to commit. And that's really what I think flipped the coin for me to even be open to it. And my wife was intimately involved and knew all about that kind of stuff. And I think that was like a wake-up call for her in our marriage. Like, okay, I'm going to put my foot down. But it was also a wake-up call, obviously, in my own life, where it was like, okay, life is more than just what I want and feeling good and
Well, it's
whatever.
not bringing you happiness.
Right, yeah. I mean, it was a road that physically led to death. So I think after that, my heart was just more in a place of like, okay, if I was going to do that, why don't I just give this a couple of weeks and actually act like there's a God? And then it just, in fact, Ben was there. Ben was the one who, I think, okay, again, we're missionary kids. I think Ben was the first person in my life that truly shared the gospel with me. And
Don't do that on the ear.
and fit me into the into what the gospel is. Like, he put me into the story. I think that might have been the first time I'd really heard that. And we were butting heads at this point. Like, we weren't close yet. And it just was God was using him. And I think that speaks to the power physically of the gospel. Like, even though I was a missionary's kid, even though, I played drums in the church as a teenager, I was raised in that, I know the vibe.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you are in that environment, you also see how the sausage is made. You see all the dirty stuff behind the scenes. You understand all the hypocrisy that can happen.
Yeah.
And so you're like,
For
like
sure.
this God stuff is just a bunch of mumbo jumbo that like
But I
doesn't
still
really bring happiness to a lot of people that you do see.
I still would have been holding on to those beliefs, though, even whenever Ben shared the gospel. But I think that just the power, like the supernatural power of what sharing the gospel with someone does, because that would have been the first time, like genuinely, that it was like a light switch. Right? It was weird.
Well, there's conviction and revelation, like
Yeah.
and that's where I'll have people like preach at me and say like as if their revelation is evidence. And it's like, no, each person has to have their own revelation.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
And it's just like it's unexplainable. It happens. There's
Yeah.
no evidence around it. It's or you know what I'm saying, It's
Right.
Like a road to Emmaus experience.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, that's a very good analogy. So yeah, that led to some difficult times ahead because I had, like I said, I had this foundation of what the scripture was with a disbelief, and now had acted in the way that I did suddenly with conviction and revelation, and all of that framework came flooding in, and I was exposed and knew exactly like, whoa, what did I just do with my entire life? And I'm the only one that knows about it. So that was a big wrestle for a few months, 4 or 5 months. Joined the cult in that time, a minor cult. So we'll talk
Nice.
about that shortly.
I've done that too.
All right, mine probably was.
I was a little
Mine was
child.
just
That
the
was-
seed. It was the start.
It was involuntary at that point, so
Okay.
I was kind of
We
dragged
didn't,
along.
we didn't know it was going that way. I mean, it was around 2020. Who wasn't starting a cult in 2020?
Sure. I mean, the whole government was.
Yeah,
Yeah. So like, the whole federal government.
But since that moment, it's been really good in our marriage.
I was going to tap back into when you mentioned like the hypocrisy that you kind of see being raised in the church. That's kind of what really led me astray from not ever really having an actual relationship with Jesus. Is I just saw a lot of how the sausage is made behind the scenes, and that kind of just gave Christianity like a bad taste in my mouth. So during those rebellious times, that was also another thing that I just felt like I needed to rebel against of, oh, well, I see all of these Christians saying one thing and acting another way, that I don't really want to be associated with that at all. Like to the point where like at the time, like I didn't even really tell other people I was Christian or that was my belief system, because I also did not really fully believe in it. I had not really drank the Kool-Aid at that point in time. And it wasn't until recently, I mean, this was when did me and Jimmy go on that trip? Probably like 5 years ago?
Was it even that? I moved here.
It might have been 4 years.
I moved here 2 years ago. It might have been 3.
This is pretty recent. Is it
I moved
3
here
or
2 years ago, and it was just before you called me. Just before, like we knew we were going to move down, so it would have been probably 2.5 going on 3.
just about 3 years ago that me and my stepbrother Jimmy, we went on a camping trip in Colorado, and he kind of poured into me and really gave me his testimony and really witnessed to me. And that was the first time that I actually was fully on board and committed to, all right, God, I'm going to give you a chance and let you into my life, and made that decision to like, not just play the part or act like I was the missionary kid or the kid that grew up in the church, but to actually try to have an authentic relationship with Jesus Christ.
What caused that like turn?
I think it was a big part of ego dying. So we took a pretty decent amount of magic mushrooms. And I
find the Lord in any way.
I love to just bring this up because it has such a stigma behind it, but I firmly believe that God can use anything to get to anyone.
For sure.
And we stayed up all night, that entire night, and just had like a very out-of-body experience. My ego died off completely, and I really just felt like I was having a conversation with the Holy Spirit that was just saying, it's time. Like, you've been running from this for so long. You've been trying to handle all of these burdens all by yourself, and you need to just let your ego die and realize it's okay to need a creator and to need a father that actually is there to take care of you. And that was just like a big light bulb went off, and I was like, wow. You know, we grew up in the church and we had learned all of these ideas, but it's just an idea until you actually put it into practice.
Yeah. Well, knowing is different from believing.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And truly believing, not just because you can confess that you believe, but that's not real.
Right.
And going back to the hypocrisy thing, like, I think really probably what was happening was humans being humans and walking as best they could with God. But there was never a conversation of, at least in our life, of like, this is what this looks like. We're messed up. But it was always a two-faced double life kind of thing. There was always a split of some sort.
Yeah.
I think of any of the leadership we went to, and who knows, maybe that was just the enemy putting things ahead of us because of, well, I don't know, but
Yeah. Well, a lot of people will misuse the name of God for power reasons, or for their own lack of understanding or disbelief, or being just humans.
yeah,
So yeah, it's best not to fault God
Right.
for what his followers can look like at times.
Right.
yeah,
Especially if the followers aren't in alignment with the Bible. If they're in alignment with the Bible, then and you don't like it, well, then you can fault them there. But then
right.
it's between you and God
communicate like,
that
hey,
point.
you're living in sin. Let's talk about this.
yeah,
And I think that was part of probably those questions that we were kind of talking about earlier, where why is this happening? Oh, it's all good. This is all fine. Like everything.
that's
we
the
grew up-
pedestal thing.
We
Where-
grew,
yeah,
what? I don't
it's
even
up on the
know.
pedestal, and you can't knock it off.
I don't even know if it was that. I think the background of all of our raising was everything's fine. Shh, it's okay. It's okay. Everything's fine. Everything's good. We're good. And so I think whenever that difficult stuff came up, it was just another like, we're good. We're going to survive. We're going to eat tonight. It's going to be good. Not that we were ever that broke, not
Yeah.
poor.
Perpetually broke.
I think that was just kind of the background. So it was just like, I'm sick of this. All right, everything's not good, and I don't like it. So
And we kind of talked about it earlier today about coming to the realization that God really wants us not to just survive, but to thrive. Right? And if you truly are in a daily walk with God and you're having that day-to-day experience and talking with him, other people are going to see that you're not just surviving. And that, especially being kids of missionaries, right, it is even the biggest tool, if you will, right? Not even, taking your kids across the world and going with what you feel God has led you to do to witness to a people group or whatever the case may be, but to have it day to day, right? And to have, those interactions with just normal human beings to say, oh, well, there's something a little different there.
yeah,
There's some, why are you calm? Why do you not have anxiety because things are going wrong? And thriving versus just surviving.
and being shown an example that is one aspect, is for the testimony. Like, look how good God is, but also understanding the intimate kind of relationship that a true father and child of that father, in a spiritual sense, talking about God, like that also is just for you because he loves you. Like that was a grasp I don't think we ever understood growing up. But
Well, I mean,
there was a lot going on.
Like, depending on the denomination you grow up in, like there's ones that are just like we're all worms and evil and we sin every day and
Right.
we were horrible human beings, and it makes you wonder, well, why does God love us and why did he die for us if this is what he created?
Because you need to pay your tithes. That's why.
Yeah, the one law they don't do away with.
Yeah.
But yeah, we grew up very Southern Baptist, I would say. There was a lot of guilt, a lot of shame, a lot of just... It just felt like overall negativity, and it kind of made you wonder, like, well, why would I even go down this path if this is kind of how the congregation is acting toward me or toward each other?
No.
You know what I mean?
Meanwhile, they're all smoking in the parking lot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're not going to talk about it. It won't be in the parking lot. It'll be at home behind a big tree where you can't see them. Yeah. Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, go for it. I mean, I did it, so I would feel bad if you didn't.
It's an open forum around here.
But yeah, that was
Does anybody need a top up on coffee?
I'm so
I
good.
think we should have made a larger pot. I don't know. Good. Water?
I'll stay.
We'll just pause till he gets back. Sorry, we didn't pause for you.
Right,
He kept talking.
I know. This story of my life. No, the only reason I had to drink so much in the beginning is because I drove here and realized I haven't had a drop of water all day long. If I'm going to be talking more than 10 minutes, I'm
Don't want to be dehydrated.
I didn't know that, Timothy.
Yeah. I never told you that.
I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you sharing the gospel.
So how did he share the gospel? How was that?
I don't even. Okay. So it was dark. I had a gun and I was ready to go, ready to end it. My wife could tell we lived in a fifth wheel at the time. Like we were together. So she could tell. She's very good at emotional cues and picking up. And so she could tell something was off. It didn't take her long to figure out, like, this is something bad's going to happen. So she went and told my mom and everything, and it became this huge thing. So I was like, that's it. I'm out. I'm not dealing with this because they took the gun, obviously. Like, I'm not going to choke myself. That sounds horrible or something like that. So I was like, I'll just run away. I'm done. So Ben ran after me, like, for miles. Got in the truck, came all this stuff. I was like, I'm a big survival instructor. I can live wherever I need to for forever. I was barefoot. And eventually the hormones and emotions calmed down. And I was like, okay, I can't just run away. Like, this is, what am I going to do? Like, live as a hobo for the rest of my life? Like, logic came in. So I came back and, man, he stayed knocking on that. So my wife was gone. My mom was gone. They were with my mom's pastor. He stayed knocking on that trailer door for hours. I just would not let him in. I was just like, I'm not talking to you, man. I'm done. There was the very spiritual, like, fighting this intimacy, fighting, like, what's really going on. Because underlying what was happening is I was essentially not looking at everything that I'd created that was making life so horrible and could not figure out why I couldn't fix it. I was trying counseling. I'd quit drinking. But it just would not go away. All of these things.
What was so horrible?
Anger, mainly. Anger was a big one. Anger outbursts. I was, even at that moment, though, I just couldn't look at it. Even infidelity. Like, I was still, whatever. Cheating on my wife.
But there's a deeper root behind all that. Like, what makes you...
But I wasn't looking at
makes
that.
you...
Like, I couldn't look...
But from your perspective now...
Now looking back, that was just, honestly, that was a lost little boy that got things to protect himself and to deal with it, like pleasure, sex, relationships, whatever, addictions, to deal with the trauma of all the craziness we went through in survival mode constantly. And I just never put them down. Like, they became addictions is really what happened. I've actually gone through a lot of addiction recovery where it's like even writing a letter to those addictions, like, thank you. You helped me get through this when I was a child, but I have to let you go now. Like, I can't do this anymore. So I think those just came along with me and grew and grew and grew and overlapped and got messy until I couldn't get rid of the fruits of those things, the just deep sorrow, the anger. And so it just hit a point. I think I broke like a little thin piece of wood in the fifth wheel, tiny, but it was just, I cracked. I was like, I can't solve these problems myself. And there was months before, one of our uncles, actually, I think this was around this time, he had committed suicide, and it had planted a seed. And this is crazy spiritual warfare. It had planted a seed in my mind months before of like, the world would be better if I wasn't here. Like my wife would be better. They'd get I was still technically in the military. They'd get my life insurance, all this kind of stuff. And then in the beginning, it was just like, that's a dark thought. Let's move on. And then I think that just grew and snowballed until it overcame me. And then it was like, yep, this is the one logical thing that makes sense. Until it all blew up and Ben sat there for so long. And I don't know how he knew to, but eventually I let him in. And he basically was just like, shut up, don't talk. I'm done hearing you. I've been chasing you around. Shut up and listen. And then I don't remember the exact words really. I don't know how he presented the gospel. I don't know if you have a recollection of that, Ben, but I know that he had placed the pieces of the gospel and where me as a human laid out. And it just made sense. It was like, oh, all right, I'll give this a go in light of what you said and how this is supposed to work. I'll try it. I'll really actually try it. And there was just, miracle after miracle on breaking these addictions, on getting into the word and into the spiritual side. That's probably what I was hungering for most of my life, was the spiritual side of what Christianity brings. I had the rational side. I knew the pieces. I knew where they fit. I knew the answers, but I didn't have any of the spiritual side. And I think that my soul probably longed for that. And so I eventually just went like, fine, I'll fill that with something else. This is done. So the coming months were filled with learning the spiritual side of that based on, I joke, it's not really a cult, but it was definitely a COVID commune Y2K kind of thing that was getting pretty close. We dipped out. I'll just say that.
Another word for community.
Yeah, there you go. It was a community, very tight knit. Don't leave the farm by yourself kind of community. But it was also a wake up at 6 a.m., go until 12 p.m., reading scripture, worshiping, learning about God. I think I learned a lot about the spiritual that I didn't know. Some of it was a little like later in life, I had to kind of like, okay, use discernment. That was a little wacky. That was a little too charismatic than I think what is real. But then again, I don't know. But yeah, it was just for probably 6 months, just continual life change. I was a different person. I really was. Mm-hmm. Like it was like a night and day flip switch.
I can attest to that.
Yeah.
Because even before I had really rededicated my life to Christ, I saw a huge change in Timothy's life. And he would just often call me, and he was just so excited about it. You just want to share your testimony. You were always trying to like just get me to like
laying it on thick.
Just come on, man. Just try a sip of the Kool-Aid. Just try it out. I think you might like it. But I was so in my own head at the time, and it was just me just still wanting to be rebellious of like, okay, man, if you're going to try to call me and just preach the gospel to me, like, I just don't want to hear it right now. And I was so shut off to it. But I remember you said something along the lines of, I literally like went outside and just pretty much yelled at God, like, if you are real, I need you to show me that you're real.
Oh, man, yeah. Because that's how it started. My mom came up and visited. We were going to move into the fifth wheel. I was just getting out of the military. And she just said, Timothy, you seem so unhappy. Like, I love you. I don't think you ever knew the Lord, really. I think you just need to talk to him. And that night, after a bottle of wine, of course, I'd gotten on my face. And for the first time, I think ever, I genuinely just said, if you're real, I need you to show me. And that was it. I just dropped it at that and had faith. If he's real, he'll show me. And then fast forward 9 months, we got to that point where he was. But all of that like build up is not to be like, wow, look what God did in my life. Mm-hmm. I say that all to say is because once I hit about 5 months after that conversion, I was so messed up with anxiety along that time because I knew all the things I had been keeping from my wife, and I knew that God forgave me. And I had even spoken to him and confidently heard him say, I'm not going to tell her. It had finally gotten to this point talking with God about it, that he said, I'm not going to tell her. And I'm not going to expose this. No one knew. No one knew that I was cheating on her. But if you don't, you'll never have the relationship I designed for you to have. And so I just went, all right, I'm going to tell her tonight, whatever. Okay, my wife is pregnant with our second daughter. We're moving in our fifth wheel back up from Texas to Washington because I got a job on the road with my pregnant wife and firstborn in the back. I decide this is probably a good time. This is when I should unload all of it. All 5 years were a lie.
Trapped in the car.
Trapped in a fifth wheel, halfway to Washington, didn't know anybody. She was livid, obviously. She kicked me out. No, she did punch me. She's a hard puncher too. But I deserved it. I get it. There was a lot of emotions. It was difficult. But ultimately, I think she got to the point where she just decided the grass, she knew, even at that age, like, the grass is not greener. And there's, how many sick, twisted men are there in this world? Like, if we're going to work this out, you have to prove it to me. And so she allowed that, which was huge. And through a lot of counseling, a lot of coursework, a lot of mentors, we walked through it. And we're stronger for it. Like, obviously, it's that typical, I've never wished this on anyone. But at the same time, like, it's what I needed as a person. In a strange way, it's what she needed as a person. And to just concrete, solid, and intimacy I didn't know you could have with another human being. We were able to walk through that and kind of come out better on the other side.
And as an outsider looking in, I mean, that's kind of, I attribute seeing your testimony play out, then seeing Jimmy be fully convicted, and just to see the 180 change in lifestyle, in your thought process and your mentality of just trusting God. And it was just something that I don't think we were really shown.
It wasn't action-based. I think that's why. I think that that was probably the first time.
But that kind of led me to go, okay, there has to be something behind this. Because I know my brother. I've known him since he was a baby. And I know how we grew up. And to see him do a 180 change from all the things that he was struggling with to just, I'm not saying you're perfect. You never had anything perfect.
Tangibly happy.
Tangibly happy, and just to like, there was that light in him that was coming out via the Holy Spirit that I could just visibly see and be like, okay, there has to be something to this. Because I've seen the change in you. I also saw the change in our stepbrother, Jimmy. And it was just one of those, you know what? There's no harm in trying this out. Worst case scenario is it's all mumbo jumbo and we're all going to leave this earth at the end of the day anyways.
Yeah.
So that was, I don't know if I ever told you this, but that was a huge motivator for me to really just let go of all control, kill that ego, and just allow God to come in.
That's beautiful, man. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah. And Ben had a very similar experience too, in the way that it was a very emotional 180 degrees. I think that we didn't witness that because of that kind of age difference we were talking about. I mean, he had his own life. We were out in the military at that time, or I was just about to be. So that's probably why that all kind of domino effect. But yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, check out episode 7 for mine.
Oh, okay, yeah. Shout out.
Is it The Road to Emmaus?
If you haven't seen it, yeah.
But I think that just explains how important and powerful testimony can be. Because you truly have to have someone else that's either been in your shoes or have a similar life that you can relate to. And then to notice a huge change in that person. At least for me, it was just like a light bulb went off and I was like, okay, maybe we need to dig deeper into this and figure out like the whys behind just the hows that we were kind of talking about.
This guy's not stupid, so something's up.
Something is
what
up.
happened to that commune in Athens, huh?
Which is great though, because
Wait, Athens, Texas?
Yeah, Athens, Texas. It was not, dude.
I used to go to Bible camp in Athens, Texas.
Did you?
Yeah, for years. We did feast out there. Like tabernacles and Passover.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Whoa, that'd be a cool place to do it. That's like the garden.
What was a campground there? I forget. Lone Star.
I wouldn't know. I probably wouldn't know the campground. I mean, we brought our fifth wheel, but we were on the farm. Like we weren't coming off the farm very often either, except we go to the farmer's market.
You're out of the Air Force at this point, are you?
So I got out in 2020. I think my contract ended in 2020, but the Air Force, and I think the Navy now, but not at the time whenever you got out, has a program called the Career Skills Program. So you can do a 6-month internship before you get out. It can't be paid. but they'll release you to go do this internship. So I was doing an internship with my cousin's relative, or excuse me, my wife's cousin, her relative. And so I was still technically in, but I was a civilian. Like I didn't report to anybody. I didn't have to do anything. Like it was done pretty much.
Gotcha.
I just did this internship and then could start being paid by them after that. It didn't work out. Ended up getting a different gig doing the same thing actually as a contractor. So it was in that transition kind of period, but I love Athens. Like that place is great.
So what was this community?
So really, because COVID was happening, we had family members coming down from Washington that were like, it's over. This is the end. Like we're not going to be in Washington whenever that happens, especially the Seattle side. So they came down to Texas and bought a farm, and my wife and I were super into gardening at that point. Before this, we lived with my mom on her property with Ben. We're just a bunch of freeloaders going property to property.
I know the vibe.
And we got really big into gardening, and so we were like, oh, let's go live on this farm. Let's just grow our own food. Like this is going to be like the biggest little farm. If you've ever seen that documentary, it's good. But then the COVID started getting crazier, and certain individuals kind of hung on to some weird ideas, and it was getting tighter and tighter. And it was all of a sudden like, it started with just, I guess like, hey, they're going to check you. And like, you're just kind of getting your temperature checked. And it's like, whoa, that's some fearful weirdness.
Yeah, and then they're actually giving you, this is the conspiracy we heard, they're giving you COVID with the swabs when they did it back here. They're actually putting the COVID back.
Stuff like that.
Those are the conspiracies we were hearing.
That we were like,
I don't know about that.
Yeah, it was like, I don't really agree with this. And then to the point where like the women can't leave by themselves. You need to have a gun on you at all times. We need to travel with radios. And it just, the intermingling of what that would have turned into, and like kind of this weird relationship that was like, we came here just to grow food and like live off the land, but this is getting weird. I think because of my background as well, being a survival instructor in the military, I think that kind of egged on like that. Oh man, I think people kind of looked at me and were like, we're going to do this, dude.
It's the energy you're feeding into. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you're going to be the dude who gets us through this. And it's like, oh, I don't think that's actually happening though. So we're out. And it was just because it was family. We didn't want to ruin that. So it was like, we need to leave. And so I'd gotten offered a job, and ended up leaving.
But it seemed like there was a large spiritual thing happening there while you were there.
It's not like it was all bad. It was the intent was pure. Like I think the intent was pure, and the personalities were misaligned, or the goals maybe. Who knows? But there was a very real. They were very charismatic and spiritual, and that was very new to me, and probably a little bit new to Mackenzie, my wife. But we soaked all that in. I mean, we were still going into scripture, and it was biblically based, but we were getting into the blurry actually a little bit. Like we were just touching on the like, what does Genesis actually mean? What does it mean the Spirit was hovering over the water? I remember reading that there and thinking like, what does this mean? Because I'd just never read it that way. And so I think it kind of opened up that door, which trajected my wife and I to get really excited and just start running headfirst. And she didn't know it yet, but we had a fallen apart marriage that was crumbling. So it was like, probably should put our energy into something. But yeah, we left after that and moved back up to Washington, and that's where I did the same thing as a contractor for the military. So it normalized after that. The spirituality, we got into a good church that was a good balance. They were very good about like, you can't be ultra spiritual and not in the word that's concreting you, but you also shouldn't just be in the word that's concreting you. Like it's a relationship between the two.
You mean like between the physical and the spiritual, or
just the idea of kind of what we experienced early on, which was like Bible thumping. Here's the rules. You got to do right because
hellfire and brimstone.
Yeah. And then kind of going to that other experience where it was like very woo woo, like cleansing rooms, which I believe in praying over them, but like,
Cleansing room. What's a cleansing room?
Like cleansing rooms, like around the house, and just like, oh, I feel a spirit here. Like this.
It's like exercising.
Yeah, but you can kind of pick up sometimes when maybe it's genuine, but I think maybe that early on in that transition, I was kind of like,
I mean, I've known people who are like casting demons out of pillows. So
Yeah, like, there's
could be, but I'm not sure that's the problem we have here.
exactly. Like there's a very real spiritual world, and there's a place where casting out has a purpose. For whatever reason, we had a feeling, probably from the Spirit, like it's time to move on. But the church we went to was very good about guiding young new believers. This is up in Washington, in that like walk between the two, because you don't want to get lost in the throwing snakes down and that kind of stuff, but you also don't want to not have a relationship with the Spirit and be unaware of the spirit world. So
being empty and like I said, no Spirit,
no intimacy,
no Holy Ghost,
yeah.
You don't have to be speaking in tongues,
Right?
Having a personal connection.
Yeah. Although speaking in tongues helps.
It can.
Yeah.
I'm not like it's in the Bible.
Yeah.
But I do think that a lot of people use that as like a spiritual high.
Right.
Where they're just doing it repetitively Sunday after Sunday.
True.
And nothing's changing.
That's true as well. Yeah. Within everything, there's a spectrum. I mean, there are not religions, denominations that believe if you don't speak in tongues, then you're not saved. And it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Hold on. And yeah, anything has its left and right boundaries. So I think that's where that church helped, is it helped us develop good actual left and right boundaries. Yeah.
So what about your experience? I'm curious because I've always been curious about the say the psilocybin route, the altered substance route, where because I've heard that people will, let's say in like experience, well, how do you put this? They almost have like shamanistic type experiences or tailored experiences where they will try that route, have a deeply religious experience, but it holds. Like it's not something that was temporary in the moment.
Right.
Like they'll grow a deeper connection to God through that substance. But then I know a lot of other people who are like, oh no, any substance bad. If you're getting to God through a mind altered experience, then it's not God. It's this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah, I would say I had used psilocybin before just recreationally, but never with like a really like solid intent behind it. It was just like, hey, let's just do this because it's fun. It'll just be an experience. That night, even prior to like us taking anything, me and Jimmy had just sat up for probably 4 hours straight, and he was just kind of giving me his testimony, really just trying to like argue his point of like, hey man, I know that this is the way you were raised, but I'm telling
like
you,
you said, he doesn't quit. He does not quit.
there is another side to this, and I'm on the other side, and I would hate for you not to experience this. So I think a big part of it was there was a lot more intent before we even took anything. And I think intent has a long way to go with that specific type of psilocybin drug specifically, because you can have a bad trip if you go into a trip with a bad emotion or a bad idea in your head, and it can just go sideways, or you can be around the wrong people and it can also go sideways. So I think it was the intent behind it. And I wasn't necessarily looking to have like a spiritual event with the Holy Spirit or with God talking to me. It just kind of played out that way because I think the intent behind us even taking it was already there. Like Jimmy had already like kind of set the stage of like, hey man, we're going to do this, but just have an open mind that you might be able to just kind of break the veil a little bit and kind of talk with God more intimately than you ever have before, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And speaking to that, I think kind of what you were saying earlier about tongues, like there are people who, like you said, can get a spiritual high out of that. And all of a sudden, what's a tool from God is now your God. That is now your idol. It's that feeling. It's that experience. I think the way that you've talked to me about how it seems is it was used as a tool, whether you knew it or not, to kind of get that ego death. Because there is a very real ego death. I mean, it's a feeling of like, I'm going to die. And then I don't know how to explain it. Like you can't explain it unless you've been through that.
It's very hard to explain, but you just feel like your sense of self just melts away.
Yeah.
And you realize how insignificant you are compared to this entire universe.
You're not the main character.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I've struggled with being the main character my whole life. Not struggled. I quite enjoy it, actually. But I think that sense of losing yourself and just realizing, oh, wow, I am just such a tiny little speck, A, on this universe, B, on this timeline of since the universe was conceived, that why am I letting my ego get in the way of the Almighty trying to have a relationship and conversation with me. And I also don't want to just put all this out there to say like, oh, I would have never found God unless I took some magic mushrooms. I think that just happened to be the scenario that where it played out.
Yeah, I don't think this is like trying to explore like a, hey, you should try this.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
this
it's
alone.
more like, don't diss someone else's experience. Like if somebody tangibly altered their life to the positive via something that you find taboo, maybe ask yourself why you find that thing taboo.
Correct.
And honestly, personally, like since I was saved, I had done mushrooms because I mean I did them a lot as a teenager, but I had done them once after that, maybe twice actually. I don't know. Yeah, twice. But after that, after those experiences, it was. I don't want to like go against anyone who's a believer and uses substances like that, and I don't think it's wrong. Like genuinely, I think we kind of have a spirit that you have to listen to that will tell you we're done here. This is you don't need this or don't go in this area. Because the first time I did it after, it was fine. It was, I had taken a lot, so it was terrifying. But the second time, like nothing eventful happened. It was a great time. But after that, I just kind of had this sense in my spirit that's like, we're going to close that door. We're done with that. And
I have the same sense because I haven't done them since.
Yeah.
That was a time where it was very powerful, and I feel like I needed to have kind of like an out-of-body experience.
you haven't done them since?
I haven't done them since.
You've done them since. I was there.
Where?
Arkansas.
Okay, maybe I have done them once since.
But there, you know, I think
No, to echo that, Timothy, yeah. I think the Arkansas trip definitely was a closing door on a
interesting.
chapter of
I know
my personal life.
I know our other brother can say that too. So
Yeah.
I think there just comes a time where your spirit just kind of goes like, we don't need this. But
Well, I think we're not called to be walking around in a mentally altered state or needing a crutch that makes us happy.
in fact, we're
And we can include alcohol in that, marijuana, anything that like with you need this substance to get through the day, and you're not relying on God to sound very Christian.
yeah.
Um,
Which anyone who's tripping on mushrooms to get through the day, whoa, you need some serious counseling. Like
I'm sure there's some high functioning
there's probably is.
psilocybin users out there.
Now we have the iPhone, but yeah, I think that it closed the door, and I think it also maybe there's a spiritual awareness of the very real, like it maybe not an addiction, but it can definitely be a replacement from God if you're not careful. And I think once you have that real relationship, that real intimacy, and like that starts to grow, and
You mean like from an idolatry standpoint?
yeah,
Like you're putting this before God, this thing's more important.
or like you were saying earlier, potentially some are using it as God. Like I can only really reach God if I take these. I think once you have a real relationship with God and a good baseline understanding, and that relationship grows, eventually you just kind of go like, I don't need this. And like you said, I've had that relationship with alcohol, with other substances, nicotine. Like these things have come in and out of my life, and it's because they had to be broken down, and rebuilt.
I mean, even
Sometimes it's the
stuff like
expense of my
sugar.
body.
Yeah.
Sugar's killed more people than almost anyone in this world at this point.
Yeah, dude, seriously.
Yeah.
Especially corn syrup. Jeez.
But to get back to the point where there is a little bit of hesitancy now of taking any kind of mind-altering substance, that there is a potential for bad to get in. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of an open door to let some of the demonic in or to let some bad influence back into your life.
Yeah.
So I also am a lot more hesitant these days to even suggest it to anybody else or to even partake in it myself. Because I kind of know in the back of my head of like, okay, there is a whole spiritual warfare going on in the background. And this might be just peeking open that door and letting something that I don't need in my life back coming in through that.
And in your experience, it was used as a tool and you were blessed by it.
Right.
But like there's a lot of people out there that could be cursed by it or like have a bad trip,
Exactly.
so to speak.
I mean, it's like people that have been saved with a death of a loved close one. Like, what a horrible, crazy thing. Like, that's obviously not something you want to happen to people, but God can use that. He can use some young ex-Navy guy's mushroom trip to be like, hey, man, it's time. It's time. And he did. And he did powerfully. Man, I remember the phone call. That was crazy. So I was about to move down to Washington, and we were going to potentially start working together, but the idea was to come to school. So, like, just be close to each other. And I was afraid because I was like, I'm a different person. And I had some anxieties. I'm like, how's this relationship going to work? And it was, I don't know, however much time before we moved. And he called me, and I just remember not even being able to say anything because I was like, whoa, what? Because it's just interesting how people will walk around and you'll have no idea what's going on in their head. There might be things ticking around in there and questions that you're not aware of. And on the outside, it looks like, no, absolutely not. You're believing a fairy tale, but hey, go at it. Why not? And then I got that phone call, and it was just like, whoa, dude, there was some stuff moving around in there, like swimming around. So
Was this post trip or mid trip when he called you?
oh, no, this is post. I don't think it would have been very intelligible mid.
Yeah, a couple days out.
I don't think you can't look at your phone. You can't look at technology, really. That's my experience, at least. It's too weird. It's too wrong. It's like you see the connections of how that plays in with the towers and the satellites and how we're all connected. You can't get away from TVs. You can't get away from phones. So it's like, you know what? Put that back in my pocket. We're done.
Yeah.
It's a unique experience. It's
Never tried it.
great. Don't. Yeah. If you're loving life the way it is, keep loving it, because you've got eternity to explore whatever God's got out there. That's at that point we were confident, like there's no questions to ask.
And I think God is all knowing. He put these substances on this planet. I mean, they grow naturally.
They connect with us for a reason.
They connect with us for a reason, but that doesn't necessarily mean you should just go and try everything that there is. Obviously, the forbidden fruit didn't really work out too great in our favor.
Yeah.
Here's a
And
question.
that was a tree.
That must have been quite a trip. We're still on it.
Do you think that's all one big trip, man?
It's just been one big trip.
We're all in Adam's mind.
I need you to do like a, woo, man, they can talk.
Whoa, man, they can talk. Anyway, we ran into a bit of time. So yeah, tune in next time for part 2 of the Sheck Snyder brothers.
I like it.
Like it?
Yeah.
All of it?
I'd cut out a pause here or there.